all the people that we meet down here are very cool.
Homelessness in Tacoma has become a growing challenge that affects many people across the city. Rising rents, changes in the job market, and other struggles have made it harder for some residents to find stable housing. Tonight, many individuals and families face uncertainty about where they will stay. This issue goes beyond numbers. It's about people and communities in need of support and solutions, very extremely difficult. If you want to understand more about what's happening and how we can help, please like this video. Share it to spread the word, and subscribe to our channel for more important stories. Together, we can raise awareness and work towards positive change. Overview of homelessness in Tacoma. Homelessness in Tacoma has become an alarming issue, with the number of people experiencing homelessness in Pierce County doubling since 2021. In February 2025 alone, more than 200 individuals found refuge in Tacoma's shelters. However, this number only represents those fortunate enough to secure a bed. Many others are left to sleep outdoors, whether in tents by the riverside, parked cars, or under freeway overpasses, facing harsh and uncertain conditions each night. Tacoma currently offers about 900 beds across its network of emergency shelters, micro-villages, and safe parking areas designed to accommodate those without homes. Yet, despite these resources, the shelter system remains under immense strain. Alarmingly, 379 of these beds are at risk of disappearing by June due to the depletion of federal relief funds that have supported these programs in recent years. The potential loss of these critical resources threatens to push even more people into the streets. How do you think Tacoma should address this looming shortage in shelter capacity? What solutions might help prevent more people from falling through the cracks? These pressing challenges bring us to a deeper exploration of the root causes driving homelessness in Tacoma. Understanding these factors is essential to creating effective and lasting change. Root causes of homelessness in Tacoma. Tacoma's homelessness crisis is fueled by a complex mix of economic and social challenges, with housing affordability at the core of the problem. Since 2020, rent prices have surged nearly 30%, pushing stable housing beyond the reach of many residents. In areas like South Tacoma, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment now hovers around $1,800 per month. Meanwhile, the state's minimum wage of $16.28 an hour falls short of covering basic living expenses after rent is paid, leaving thousands in precarious financial situations. The waiting list for subsidized housing continues to grow, with many hoping for the chance to secure affordable shelter, but opportunities remain scarce. The economic environment complicates matters further. Job losses in Tacoma's industrial sectors, including manufacturing, shipping, and warehousing, have eroded a critical source of stable income for many blue-collar workers. Automation and outsourcing to cheaper labor markets have accelerated this decline, resulting in fewer job opportunities where they are needed most. In 2024 alone, the Port of Tacoma eliminated 200 jobs, intensifying the strain on workers and their families. Additionally, the ongoing effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, combined with mounting medical debt and widespread mental health challenges, have pushed many households to the brink. Exacerbating this crisis is the devastating opioid epidemic, with fentanyl flooding the region and causing widespread addiction. This epidemic has played a major role in rising homelessness, as addiction often leads to loss of employment, housing, and support systems. The cyclical relationship between substance abuse and housing instability creates a vicious trap that is incredibly difficult to escape. As homelessness continues to rise under these mounting pressures, Tacoma faces urgent questions. How can the community rebuild and better support its most vulnerable residents? What solutions can effectively address both the economic hardships and social issues driving this crisis. In the next section, we will examine how these root causes directly impact individuals and strain the city's shelter system. Rising crisis. Children and families experiencing homelessness in Ohio. The immediate impact of Tacoma's homelessness crisis is impossible to overlook. The shortage of shelter beds has pushed many individuals and families onto the streets, forcing them to seek refuge in tents, cars, or under bridges. As shelters reach and exceed capacity, the harsh reality is that more people are left without safe places to sleep each night. The looming threat of losing hundreds of shelter beds due to funding cuts only deepens this crisis, risking an even more crowded and vulnerable street population. Local businesses in Tacoma have voiced strong concerns about the negative effects that growing encampments have on neighborhoods. Increased crime, litter, and safety worries have created tension between the housed community and those experiencing homelessness. These concerns, while valid, coexist with warnings from advocates who argue that clearing out homeless camps without providing adequate alternatives merely pushes the problem out of sight, rather than solving it. This approach leads to a fractured community where distrust and frustration simmer on all sides. The division in Tacoma's community highlights the complexities of addressing homelessness fairly and effectively. It raises important questions about balancing public safety, compassion, and long-term solutions. How can Tacoma support its vulnerable population while addressing the concerns of local residents and businesses? As we consider these challenges, it becomes clear that immediate relief alone isn't enough. Comprehensive policies and strategic planning are essential to truly address homelessness in Tacoma. City policies and plans. Tackling homelessness with housing and care initiatives. In response to Tacoma's worsening homelessness crisis, city leaders introduced an ambitious plan in 2022 called Functional Zero. This strategy aims to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring by focusing on sustainable, long-term solutions rather than short-term fixes. The goal is to build a system where individuals and families experiencing homelessness can quickly access stable housing and receive the support necessary to maintain it over time. A central part of the plan is the construction of 1,000 affordable housing units by 2027, recognizing that stable housing is the foundation for ending homelessness. Tacoma is investing in a variety of projects that prioritize both accessibility and affordability. These new housing units are expected to provide a critical lifeline to many residents facing housing insecurity, offering them a chance to rebuild their lives in a stable environment. In addition to expanding housing, the city is focusing heavily on rapid rehousing programs combined with comprehensive employment support, helping people secure not only a home, but also meaningful, steady jobs is essential for breaking the cycle of homelessness. This dual approach addresses the immediate need for shelter while also promoting long-term self-sufficiency and financial independence. One particularly promising development is the upcoming medical respite shelter at Tacoma Mall. This facility will provide 53 long-term beds and 65 short-term beds specifically designed for people recovering from illness. By combining healthcare services with housing, Tacoma is taking an important step toward integrated care that meets the complex needs of its homeless population. This project exemplifies the city's commitment to compassionate, holistic solutions. Challenges ahead. The rising costs and growing wait lists in Tacoma's fight against homelessness. While these initiatives mark meaningful progress, the path forward is far from simple. Next, we will explore the persistent challenges and obstacles that Tacoma faces in fully realizing this vision. Addressing homelessness in Tacoma is far from a quick fix. It's a long and challenging journey filled with significant obstacles. One of the biggest hurdles is the rising cost of construction. Since 2023, building expenses have increased by 15%, making it more difficult and expensive to develop affordable housing projects at the scale needed. This surge drives up overall costs and slows progress, leaving many hopeful families waiting even longer for a stable home. Meanwhile, rents continue to climb sharply. For instance, the average monthly cost for a two-bedroom apartment in Tacoma now exceeds $2,200, which is well beyond what many low-income residents can afford. This relentless rise in housing costs forces more people into unstable living situations or even onto the streets. Compounding the crisis is an extensive waiting list for public housing, which has ballooned to around 2,500 names. Thousands of individuals and families remain in limbo, navigating uncertainty while desperately hoping for a breakthrough. These realities remind us that solving homelessness in Tacoma is a marathon, not a sprint. Despite significant efforts, the path forward is steep and filled with persistent challenges. Building trust and compassion. The vital role of community outreach in Tacoma's homelessness crisis. Community outreach is a crucial element in tackling homelessness in Tacoma, with organizations like HEAL, Homeless Engagement Alternatives Liaison, playing a significant role. HEAL has directly engaged with over 5,000 individuals experiencing homelessness, working to connect with them on a human level beyond simply providing resources. Their efforts are grounded in building trust, recognizing that forming genuine relationships is often the first and most important step toward helping people move forward. About half of those contacted by HEAL accept the assistance offered, while the other half decline. This hesitation is frequently rooted in a deep mistrust of systems. Previous negative encounters with shelters or authorities, or personal struggles such as mental health issues. Additionally, many individuals resist support because they fear losing their pets, a concern that is often overlooked but deeply meaningful to those living on the streets. HEAL's approach is marked by patience, consistency, and respect. The team shows up regularly with simple acts of kindness, offering warm blankets, coffee, or a listening ear without judgment. This compassionate, gradual process helps build bridges of trust, opening doors to vital services like shelter, healthcare, and social support. Homelessness in Tacoma is a complicated and multifaceted issue, but with empathetic outreach and sustained commitment, meaningful progress can be made. What do you think communities can do to better support individuals who are reluctant to accept help? What strategies might build trust and close these gaps? Your thoughts and ideas are welcome as we explore ways to make a real difference. Government actions, innovative support, and financial challenges in Tacoma's homelessness crisis. As community efforts persist on the ground, the role of government and local authorities becomes the next crucial frontier. How are policies and funding adapting to meet this growing challenge? Let's explore the actions taken by Tacoma's officials and their impact on this crisis. The government and local authorities in Tacoma have taken several actions to address the growing homelessness crisis, but some remain highly controversial, especially concerning encampments. Laws banning tent setups and sleeping in public spaces have led to numerous sweeps where homeless individuals are forced to dismantle their makeshift homes. While officials argue these measures are necessary for public safety and sanitation, critics claim they are inhumane, pushing vulnerable people further into despair and instability. This ongoing debate highlights the difficult balance between community concerns and protecting the dignity of those experiencing homelessness. Amid these challenges, innovative support models have begun to emerge. One such example is the tiny home village in Spanaway, a nearby community offering 50 small, affordable homes for low-income residents. These projects provide a real alternative to living in tents, offering stability, privacy, and a foundation for rebuilding lives. Such initiatives show promise in creating sustainable solutions and restoring hope for people caught in the cycle of homelessness. Financial support remains a critical factor in maintaining and expanding shelter capacity. Tacoma recently requested $6 million from the state government to keep its shelter system operational. However, the state's budget shortfall raises concerns about whether this funding will be approved. Without this aid, several key shelters face closure, which would drastically reduce available beds and increase the strain on those already struggling to find safe places to sleep. These actions and challenges reflect the complexity of addressing homelessness in Tacoma. Sustainable progress will require not only funding but also compassionate policies that balance public safety with the urgent needs of the unhoused population. Conclusion and call to action. Tacoma stands at a critical crossroads in addressing its homelessness crisis, caught between temporary fixes and long-term solutions. The stories shared reveal homelessness is not just a statistic, but real people facing daily struggles. These personal experiences demand our attention and compassion. Meaningful change requires the community to unite. Volunteering, donating, and raising awareness can all make a difference. Even small acts of kindness add up, giving hope and dignity to those experiencing homelessness. What can you do to help Tacoma's homeless population? How can we work together as a community to create lasting change? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to follow more honest, inspiring stories. Together, we have the power to make a difference and build a better future for all.